Hello everyone, I'm Tyler, a CCNA mentor in the CBT Nuggets learner community. I'm going to walk you through Cisco Packet Tracer. Let's get started. So I assume you probably purchased a CBT Nuggets subscription. You are going through the videos and you're wondering, how do I get hands-on practice? Well, Cisco Packet Tracer is a great place to start. All you have to do is go to their website, Netacad website, go ahead, sign up for their free account, download the software, and click next, 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 finish. I'm not going to bore you with the install, but at the very end, this is what you'll see, Cisco Packet Tracer. And it's a great place to start when you're first learning Cisco. Cisco Packet Tracer has most of what you'll need for ICND 1 and ICND 2. It does have a few missing features. Those are some of the fringe ones, currently SNMP version 3, and there's a few more, but for the most part, it will get you through most of your studies, and it's a great place to start. Unlike GNS3, which is awesome, but it has a learning curve and a few setup items that can be a little difficult. So Packet Tracer, again, is a really powerful tool. So once you have it running here, as you can see in the bottom left, there's a bunch of different devices you can drop into your workspace. So for example, let's go ahead and drop in a router. So all you have to do is select the category, routers, and drag in a router. Okay. And let's say we want to drop in a switch. So we'll drop it into the switch category, and we'll just drag in a 2960 switch. And let's say we need a computer in our network. We'll go ahead and go to the computer section, bottom left, and we'll go ahead and pop in a computer. Fairly easy. You just drag and drop items into your workspace. So once you move items into your workspace, we can go ahead and connect them together. So we can go to the Connections tab here real quick. And let's say we want to connect the PC to the switch. So we'll select copper straight through. And we'll go ahead and select the device, the computer. And once we left click on it, we get a few options. So we want to plug into the fast Ethernet. And as you can see, you get a little straight line once you select it. So now let's select the other device. We'll left click on the switch. And from here, we'll plug into fast Ethernet 1. As you can see, it's amber, the port. It's going through the spanning tree protocol. Another handy feature is the fast forward button here, fast forward time. So if you click it, it will bring you into the future. It's like time travel. I love this tool so much. I usually, when I configure something, I click this a few times. It's kind of handy, so I'm not sitting around waiting for the protocol to go through its steps. As you can see now that both ends are green here. Let's go ahead and click on the copper straight through, and let's connect the switch to the router. So there you go. You've got a few network items in your workspace here, and you've got them connected together, which is pretty cool. So let's go through an example. Now that we have, our networked items in our workspace here in this logical view, let's go ahead and get access to the command line interface. So all you have to do is just click on the network item here. So left click on it, and we'll click on the CLI tab. And there you go. You have access to the Cisco command line interface. So let's go ahead and try and configure an example. So we'll go to global configuration. We'll interface G0/0. We'll give it an IP address. Don't worry if you're just learning Cisco and this looks like magic. I don't expect you to know this, but I do need to set up a few items to show you some of Packet Tracer's features. So we just configured a routed interface on a router, and it's up. Let's go to the computer. So we can go to it by clicking on it, and we can go to the desktop and configure the IP address. So we'll go ahead and configure an IP address for the computer. And once we configured an IP, we should be able to do a ping. So we have a few options here, but the most common you'll be using is command prompt. And this kind of emulates a Windows command line interface. So there are some features in there like ping and trace route. So we'll do a ping to the router. And there we go. As you can see, we're getting replies from the router. So here we have a simple network we set up in just a few minutes in Packet Tracer that's working, which is really cool. So another handy feature that is really cool to use is the simulation tab here. So if you ever get stuck and don't understand why something isn't working, or want to follow the packet through all the different network items that it goes through, its path, you can select the simulation tab and find out what it does at each step and what the rules are and the protocols it goes through. So we can just hide all of them because there's way too many. And let's say we just want to see how a ping works. So we'll select just the ping filter here. And what we'll do is, now that we're in simulation mode, we'll click on the computer and we'll just run a ping. Same thing again. As you notice, it's not going through the pings right away. It's frozen. So what it does here, the simulation tab, is it looks at each step. So the first step here, we can click. You can see there's a little packet, looks like an envelope. We can click on that, and we can see at each layer, if we click on it, what it's doing, the protocol. It's really cool. So we'll just click next. So you can see it goes to the switch, the packet. It goes to the router, then it goes back to the switch, and then back to the computer. So if we go back to the beginning of time, we can see at layer 2 that on the computer it does an ARP lookup, needs to know the destination MAC of the router to send it to the router. It puts the destination MAC address of the router, it looks like here, and it sends it out to the switch. So pretty nifty here, the simulation tab. So it'll usually say if you're running into problems, right? If the packet is dropped somewhere, you'll see where it gets dropped as you go through time, fast forward or rewind through time, and you can look at each layer and it will tell you what went wrong. So if you're missing a route, or if there's something being blocked, it will tell you that it couldn't find X or Y, and that really helps with troubleshooting. If you're first learning the Cisco protocol, I'd recommend just looking through what it does. So that's basically it, an introduction to Cisco Packet Tracer. The last thing that I would recommend that you might do is delete network items. So you can click on the delete tab here. You can delete items if you so choose. That's all we have for this video. If you're interested in learning more about Packet Tracer and how it can help you prepare for your Cisco exam, you can reach out to me via direct message on the left side of your Slack window. And if you're interested in working with a mentor for CCNA, please message me.